Survivor News.
Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News.
Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News.
What is going on? Your baby boys. And when I do say your baby boys, the trio is back covering Survivor Season 48, Episode 3. Super excited to be here. Baby, we have a lot to get into. We have a lot to talk about this episode, and we have a lot to discuss as the baby boys. Let's welcome back to the podcast the first merge boot when DZ Holland was popping, Wendell.
I was more than a merge boot, Bryce Isaiah.
Were you? Because I feel like we had a pregame in San Francisco and we had a young lad who will be on Survivor Season 69. And I feel like when I asked him, I said, who was the first merge boot? He said, Wendell Holland. I got the video.
Okay, we'll live with that. Sure.
How you doing?
It's good. It's good to be back.
Yeah. Oh, and listen to all the YouTube comments. You see, he's talking. Okay, he's talking. Yes.
You know what? If we're being upfront and honest, I got a text message about at what time? 7:12. It is now 7:37. The text message said, "Friendly reminder to be engaged and keep your energy up this episode."
Listen, Wendell,
with love.
With love. The comments. Listen, Jack and I be in the comments, okay? And so they've been saying it's AI Wendell. They don't believe it's actually you.
It's what the people want, Wendell.
All right.
Now, I will say, I've loved our guests, but having the big three this week, Q and Rome know how to hold court. So there will be an opportunity now for Wendell you to get involved.
Yeah,
I'm allowed to talk now.
And as he is talking, let's welcome back to the podcast the man that doesn't have a full-time job, but it is not a part-time job, who is employed. You might recognize him from Netflix, The Circle, Season 2, The Floor is Lava, or, as our little brother, one of my best friends. I got to have lunch with this man. Okay, he's casting. While we was having lunch, the waiter was trying to cast himself on one of Jack's shows, and Jack said, solid. Let's welcome to the podcast, the Jack.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was the Jack to the... Wow, I don't know why my employment status came into question there, but I'm currently contracted. I work 10 to 6:30, Bryce. So
Not bad.
I call that a full-time job for about 2.5 more months, and then I can't tell you the last time I've been this excited to get into an episode, but I know we gotta do our weekly, whatever you want to call it, the updates first. So I'm gonna contain myself for a few minutes, and then I'm excited to dive in.
Listen, well, the baby boys are here. We're super excited. It's been a while since we've held court as just the baby boys. And I just want to shout out to the Survivor News listeners that are engaged, that come to see the baby boys. And we do apologize if, we were excited to have guests, but I do understand you wanting to hear from your baby boys. So let's hear from the baby boys. Now let's get into business. This is some things I got to address before we get to the episode. Also, Wendeezy, let me talk to you for a second.
Oh, okay. Go right ahead, because I'm talking back today.
Oh, he's clocked in. Well, yes. I'm super excited to have you. And listen, let's be honest. Wendeezy and I, we had a fight, okay? This tour has started like the regular tours, okay? We had a premiere tour. We had a premiere in New York. Was great. The week leading up to LA, Wendeezy and I, we were not talking. And mind you, this was a fight that I said, you know what? I'm not going to break the third wall. I'm not going to say nothing to him. But but I broke down because
Oh, you
last
weren't
time
talking to me?
anyway, so we had a fight, but listen, I feel like last season was an anomaly. No fights. This season, we had a fight, we had a little hiccup, but listen, all of our greatest seasons, we fight. So I'm glad that we were able to work it out. I'm glad that you apologize. I'm glad that you admitted that I am right. I'm glad that you saw the pasture beyond the farm.
Sounds like when you send a dog off to when you take a dog out back and send him to another dog heaven.
But we were in San Francisco yesterday, and baby. And first of all, I read the comments. Somebody was like, I know this is the Purple Pants podcast and it's Bryce's podcast, but he talks too damn much. Well, listen.
I know that's right. I agree with you. That was my burner account.
The baby boy is wetting his whistle. And so listen, you can log off now. Let me just say this because San Francisco, the Bay Area, Bay. I had no idea the posse ran so deep. And when I say deep, it's like the Jack Shack was there. When Deeziers were there, the posse was there. You said who?
Wednesday.
No, the Ben Beasley.
No, that's classic Wendell. No, we don't want no Wendell. I don't want to know what happens in the Wendell, but I am curious as to know what it smells like. But like seriously, the Purple Pants posse was in the building, and when I'm talking about play-by-play with me and Jack Jelinski, the premonitions, the Survivor News, like they were like, it's not like. You meet people, Jack, and they're like, I love this circle and I love you, Jack. And you're
I've
like,
never met anyone that's told me that. No, I know what you mean. These were like hardcore, bona fide fans.
Core. And I don't like to cry. I'm a crier. I wasn't sweating in San Francisco. I was crying in San Francisco. Like the love was really real. And there was one posse member. I think her name was Sophie. She came with her mom. Like
Angela.
Shout out to just it. San Francisco showed up and showed out. It was Jack. It was a time. When we say a time was had in San Francisco, a time was had in the Bay Area. It was absolutely amazing.
Woo.
Packed crowd. An episode that we will get into, but it was a lot going on. It was the first time we premiered Joey Hatch as our DJ. Joey smoked the ones and the twos to the point that Jack, we may have a problem.
Yeah, I think we created a monster, Jack.
We may have a problem, Jack.
He had a lot of visitors in his DJ booth. Ooh. Let's say guest DJs with him.
DJ zero caution. That's
okay. It was crazy. San Fran went up. We had an amazing crowd. We had an amazing group of people show up. We had legends. We had Ty in the building. We had Keyshawn. We had Claire. We had Franny. We had Matt. We had a special shout out to Danielle Reyes from Big Brother, from Traders, from the Reindeer Games. Let's just say Danielle Reyes treated the baby boys like kings in San Francisco, Jack, to the point that I only saw Wendell
at the party,
at the event, because the accommodations that Danielle Reyes provided us.
Wonderful.
I was good, Jack. Like, I mean, like
the Reyes estate, or was what was the situation?
So I don't want to go into details too much, but I let Wendeezy lead. But she treated the baby boy like a king, And in a king, there's a pool, there's a sauna, there's a jacuzzi, there's a doorman, there's a. I
You use
mean,
the workout room.
so I did use. I mean, I did visit the workout room because I had to get to the steam room. I'm steaming
Oh, was
in the
that
morning
where the hot tub was at?
where the hot tub was.
Yeah.
I was in the hot tub from sun up to sundown. I made friends. I mean, I have a residence in San Francisco. Period.
This is good news because I'm hoping you guys go back so I can try to get up to the next one. This week's been crazy for me, so I wasn't able to, but it sounds like I missed out on a great time.
You did. My man Austin was there. With my mother-in-law was there.
James Lim was there.
James pulled up.
Neil.
There was Neil Garabate, the ice cream man. There was a point where fans started looking like Survivors. While Survivor was going on, there was this rumor that Brett and Chris from Survivor's Gen X were there, and they looked just like them.
But it wasn't that.
But it wasn't them. But it was them. It wasn't, but it was. It was.
Made me walk all the way around the bar. He was like, Brett and Chris from Millennials Gen X are sitting at the bar. They're being so quiet. He made me walk all the way around the bar, and I'm looking like, you idiot, that's not them.
Mind you, there was, I don't even want to say, because we have surprise guests that were in the building. Shout out to our surprise guests that were there. There was a surprise guest that I don't think he didn't know that they weren't them. He took a photo with them. It was crazy.
He took a photo with the fake Brett and fake Chris?
Yes, and didn't know. And that's why I thought that they were them.
They were the surprise guests.
They really were. The posse was telling me who they want on the Zaddy calendar on 2026. I got a whole note thread. Jack, it was one of those events. It almost reminded me of like the first time we went to Boston.
For sure. Could you hear the TV?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it. I was
no shade to LA venue, but this
one, tech in San Francisco, it is a tech city.
The sound was on point, Jack, and there were birthdays in attendance. Hey, if you want to celebrate a birthday, come to a Bryson Wen. We had my man Brandon, his birthday. He had cupcakes in there, and he was also giving out.
Hey.
It's the Kevin dive for me, okay?
The
Kevin dive. Okay, I had one in my drink. And yeah, just the Bay Area show up, show out. Jack, the owner of the bar, shout out to Vlad.
Vlad from
Vlad
San Francisco Buzzworks.
Was a Survivor fan, Jack. When I say a Survivor fan, there was a point where we weren't at capacity, but we were getting to capacity. And Wendell said to Vlad, hey, could we squeeze in a couple more people? Vlad said, they ain't buy a ticket. No. I said, oh my God, Vlad. But mind you, I really felt like he said that because the way that he was like so excited to see the survivors, like Jess Chong was in the building, Owen was in the building, the way that he was all over them, like he really wanted them to himself. Like he was like, no more people.
He's taking all the photos. He came to the pregame. He made us do the pregame at his other bar.
Like he was locked in. So shout out to Vlad.
He said everybody else has to leave right now.
Yes, no, Jack. That's how it was, though. Like all night, throughout the night, Jack, I was like spotting him because we had there was a balcony. This is what he looked like all night.
So it sounds like you're gonna be back in San Francisco.
We will absolutely be back in San Francisco. But you know another place that we will be back, Jack?
Where?
The finale is in May, and a lot of people have been asking about the finale. The finale will be in New York. We do have a new location that I feel like is still under wraps, but just know if you are wondering about the Bryce and Wynn 48 finale that will be in New York, check out the Bryce and Wynn Present Instagram page because we'll be dropping some things shortly. And when I tell you, the one thing that I said to Wendeezy, because you know it's the brightest to win. It's a lot of different things. We did a tour of this place, Jack. I had to change my britches in the place. That's how
I knew he was gonna say something stupid like that.
that's how alluring and sexy and just like whew.
Ooh.
So if you are wondering about the BWP 48 finale, it's not sold out. The tickets haven't been released, but keep an eye out.
And grab an extra pair of britches.
Grab an extra pair of britches.
Too.
But listen,
about
also
that venue,
whew.
it's big. It's a 900 capacity venue.
Oh.
So we will have plenty space. We're not going to be cramped in there this time. Everyone will have space. We have tables. We're gonna do whatever. We're gonna have great viewing. It's gonna be the perfect finale. We're very excited to work with this new venue.
Absolutely.
Giving me some
And
ideas.
listen, Jack, because you know, while I was in LA, I got to spend some time with Jack. Jack and we went to lunch. I went to Jack's house, and you know, Jack has a milestone birthday coming up, and his mom really wants him to come to Connecticut. But Jack doesn't, you know. But I'm just saying, I told Jack, if you go to Connecticut, I'll be there. But Jack, you could, you know, line it up. We will have tables. So if you wanted to get a table, it will be amazing. But a lot of things to get to. Also, as we kind of are easing our way into the episode, Jack, we have to talk about a new Survivor beef.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready to hit me with. I'm gonna stand my ground.
School is out. The bell has rung, and we are behind the basketball court. We're waiting for Mary to pull up because shout out to everybody that listens. And Mary listened to the episode. And while Rome was holding court, Jack was, you know, if this was the basketball court, I'd say Jack was giving out some flagrant fouls when he said he'd rather take a Kevin over a Mary. Also, Kevin is a king and a legend, and this is no shade to Kevin because I love Kevin. However, my girl Mary had been performing in challenges. She's physical, she's smart, and it's not even my girl Mary, it's Mother Mary. So we're clear. Mother Mary, she got a little type in there. She said, Jack, what's up? Because I don't know what you're saying. Meet me after school behind the basketball court because I got something to say.
Yeah. You know, that took me by surprise. I opened up my phone. I saw that. I was like, ooh. Sometimes I forget that some of the players listen. Here's what I'll say, right?
Okay.
This wasn't
and also, Jack, I'm wetting the whistle, so
I'm gonna stand my ground here. This wasn't an attack on Mary's athleticism, right? This was more so, and now I don't think I realized the extent of Kevin's shoulder problem, but Kevin's an athletic guy, right? And so, just visibly speaking, Survivor's a game of perception. I think Kevin is more athletic than Mary, and that's not to say Mary is not athletic. That's not to say this, that, or the other thing. And I'm a Mary fan. I mean, she had one of my favorite preseason tweets. Oh, there we go. She had one of my favorite preseason tweets about yerking it. Love that tweet. She's been great all season, but just on paper, Kevin's pretty athletic. Now, and then here's what else. And this wasn't against Mary's athleticism. She's been holding her own. But
what was it against?
It was me lifting Kevin up and saying Kevin's pretty athletic. And look, Mary,
you lift Kevin up.
But look,
by putting Mary down.
If anyone on that tribe was that athletic, they wouldn't have gone to 3 straight tribals. Wow. So I'll stand my ground. Also, my whole argument was for Justin. Do you think about keeping Kevin around to avoid losing again? In which case, you might go home. and look what happened. And if you watch Mary during the blindfold challenge, obviously not easy to be blindfolded. She looked like she was walking to a different challenge sometimes. Like she wasn't. Now maybe that's on Cedrek who was calling
Jack, I'm jumping in after school.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. But I like Mary. I honestly respect and love that she fired back at me because I like to hear she's listening. I like a little friendly back and forth. I'm a Mary fan, but just on paper, give me Kevin. That's all I say.
Well,
Kevin.
listen, Kevin is a king, but Mary is a mother. I also. Do you have anything to chime in real quick, Wendell? Because we got another beef we got to talk about. Okay, we got another beef we got to get into.
My only thing is you can't rag on her that hard and then say, "Oh, but I'm a Mary fan."
Well, I could say, look, like Mary is athletic, but I don't think she's as athletic as Kevin. And I could stand on that fact, and then also say, like, but I don't care about the athleticism. I like what Mary's bringing on the show. Is that not right?
I just want to say, Jack, you're not a homosexual like I am.
Correct.
But you do like men. You likes the men. Like you likes the men.
I'm just Kevin with no bum shoulder. I mean, look.
But like, here's the thing: you can't. But this is what you can't say, though, Jack. You can't say Kevin without a bum shoulder when he got a bum shoulder.
With respectfully, I mean, you guys are like very friendly. You guys don't like to say bad.
I'm keeping it real. I like Kevin.
It real.
No, you're not. You're saying okay. Oh my God, Jack,
right,
you're saying without the bum shoulder.
When
he's got a bum shoulder, though.
I still give me Kevin, but when Survivor Casting made these tribes, right? And they put Kyle and David on a tribe, and they put Shaheen and Joe and Eva on a tribe. Who did they look at and think, oh, they're gonna match up with Joe on this tribe? It wasn't Mary.
Why wasn't it Mary? Okay, you know what? All right, listen, Jack.
She's short, like
Jack. 4:30 when the bell rings.
That's fine. I'm all for some friendly. All I'm saying, Say can say this. Cedrek could say this. Justin could have said all those same things. If you guys were that athletic, you wouldn't have lost every challenge. So I'm sorry.
Okay.
And I'll stand by my point that my whole theory about that was just for Justin's sake. Do you take a chance on Kevin to maybe boost your chances of winning a challenge because you might go next? And look what happened.
Hey, Jack, I got a question for you.
Oh, well,
yeah,
when Deezy talking.
While we over here talking about athleticism.
What? Get it? Because that's the next beef. That's the next beef. Get into it.
No, my only question is, did his feet touch lava at any point?
I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, sure, yeah. I don't know if the floor is lava is the best representation of athleticism. But here's the thing. I'm not talking about. I'm not saying. Never once have I mentioned myself in this conversation. I'm just calling a spade, and it, you guys are very support everybody, and I again, this isn't anti-Mary. It's like Mary might not be, in my opinion, the best at challenges on her tribe, and that's okay. She's still really funny. She's smart. Like, I have so many good things to say about her, especially this episode. So I don't even want to dwell on this. But I'll stand on anyone viewing this episode. I guarantee the majority of listeners would typically agree that on paper, Kevin is more athletic than Mary.
But
I think that's a fair thing to say.
But okay, all right, because
is that not a fair thing to say? Like,
I don't want to
never want to put anybody down, and that's not me trying to put anybody down. No, but
I get what you're saying, but my whole thing is like you keep going back to this on paper without a bummed shoulder. We're going with the facts.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's why I will say, like, yeah, given he messed up his shoulder, he wasn't great either. So I see Mary's point there, but like I don't. It wasn't meant to be a rude thing to just be like Kevin is more athletic than Mary. Like if I was like Wendell is more athletic than Donathan, that's not like, oh, I don't like Donathan.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's a fact. So if Wendell messed up his shoulder, I could still say Wendell's more athletic than Donathan. That's not like, oh, I don't like you, Donathan. That's just talking Survivor. Like that's a factor.
Okay. Kevin has bigger biceps than Mary's. You could say that.
Yeah, he's not better at it. Like there's plenty of things that Mary is better at Kevin than.
Well,
and to back my point, all I said was, if I'm Justin, do I consider keeping Kevin to avoid being out sooner? And look what happened. And now we don't know. I don't think Kevin would have changed that challenge, but I think Kevin might have been better in that challenge than Mary. Is that fair to say?
Well, it might have been. That's the part that for me is
okay,
like.
All I'm saying, say I was Justin, I think that I would bet on Kevin being more of an asset in that challenge than Mary. right?
Okay.
That's a reasonable analysis, right? So that's not me being against or for anybody. I wasn't some big Kevin stan. I was just like, he's just more athletic. Like it is what it is.
Listen, I mean, his Instagram is Fit Kev or Kev Fit. But
There
listen,
you go.
we got another beef to address because I'm tired of getting cussed out for y'all. Cause I got cussed out by somebody that's on the season that said y'all was doing a lot of talking last episode, but my name is Mitch Curry, and I didn't hear y'all talking about Mitch.
I said Mitch was looking like prime Kobe.
I'm just saying, because
can I catch him? Right?
Well, I didn't say you. I'm just saying me.
He yelled at Bryce about
like,
Bryce.
What?
He came right at Bryce. He was in the party with his fingers in Bryce's dome like this. Like, I better not see you not acknowledge my athleticism and skill and bucket making.
Oh, Mitch himself did that.
No, so, Mitch walked right up on Bryce and did that.
Oh, so it was Mitch. I thought you were talking about like a fan who just loved Mitch. It was like, yo, better give Mitch his flowers.
Mitch texted me and said, mind you, first of all, Mitch texted me real shady. Like, he was saying, and just why I love Mitch. Mitch said, I would have thought the buckets that I made would have made some airtime, but okay. I said, oh, but no, Mitch killed it. And listen, whether you shoot like whoosh or whether you throw buckets like that, Mitch killed it. And so we love it. But we're here episode 3, and whew, I got some hot takes. Jack, you're the narrator. Where you want to go?
Well, I was just like, I mean, historic tribal, we have to just dive into it.
We got to. Because, okay, sorry. I know y'all say.
If you're listening, skip to 26:52. Right get to the good stuff.
Okay, because we'll get those comments. But whoa, listen, we watched Tribal in San Francisco, and there was so much going on. But I had an opportunity to rewatch Tribal.
Why is Kevin there?
Just look at everyone to the left.
Now, Mary, I'm gonna have to meet Mary outside too now.
Wait, maybe Mary is taller than Kevin. I mean,
Tribal was crazy, and I just have to get down to it. First of all, I said last week, Godfather Cedrek called everybody in, and this was crazy to me because Cedrek voted like he essentially voted say out, right? Like twice. He didn't know Justin didn't have the vote. That was crazy to me. As I am watching the episode, I am getting so emotional because like I am seeing Sai react to the unfolding of all of this. And it's like, ultimately, Cedrek did make the decision to go with Sai. Sorry. I keep thinking about Real Housewives of New York, and there is a Sai, and I just keep saying Sai, but Say, that was just a lot. And there's so much to unpack there, and there's so much that I want to talk about because I have so many questions that I want to ask our Survivor Savant Jack, but also I want to talk about the Cedrek voting say out. But another thing that I really want to talk about that I want to just give props to Mary and Say is that we see them going at each other. We see them all season. We see Sai running after Mary. We see Mary eating down with her diabolical plan of like, you know what? I'm going to just act like I got something, and it worked. But I loved at Tribal Council when those two queens said, it's a game. I know it seems like we're at each other, but I respect this queen. I love that because I feel like a lot of times in TV, when we have women, they're always pit against each other. And I like the fact that like they were able to say like, hey, I know like we're on opposite sides of the team right now, but listen, I respect that she's playing the game. I like that. We don't see that often enough. And so I want to start there. It's like, I love that. Like, real recognizes real. I respect you. I see the position that you're at, and I'm going to go hard. You going to go hard. Might not be good for the team, but like, I don't know. I just like that just as like women empowerment, where it's like, we can be two dominant forces, but like, it doesn't have to get nasty.
It's almost a different version of last season's Rachel and Genevieve. When they were like looking for things and kind of like following each other and stuff, and it's like, yo, we are the two powerhouses out here. It's different, but what I'm saying is it's not you can tell that there's some level of respect here. And I'd even venture to say that there's probably footage that is on the editing floor of just them being cordial around camp with each other and whatnot. I don't think that would be a stretch. Go ahead, Jack.
No, I like that. I mean, there was so much to unpack with this tribal. We could literally go through like person by person, everything that led up to it, which is kind of wild. Like everyone had their own sort of involvement. For Mary, I like loved the way that she approached it. I mean, it was a difficult spot to be in. And I think her, you know, when your back's against the wall, you want to scramble, but to just be like, I just got to act cool and just play some mind games, especially with a player like Say who gets paranoid pretty easy. That was great. Obviously the shot in the dark worked. Crazy, lucky. I gotta say to Bryce, we've had this conversation before. I saw on Instagram someone posted during the episode on Eastern time, and that kind of spoiled me. That was frustrating.
Cuss them out?
Yeah.
What's up?
Did you cuss them out?
I'm gonna keep it to my. It was someone on 47, so I was just gonna keep it to myself. But
Oh,
like, God, if you're posting during the episode, it hasn't even come out on Pacific time. Don't post about it. Like,
but this is what I'll say to you though. Don't be online.
well, what? I'm just not supposed to use my like.
Yes.
I use Instagram for work. Like, I like. I'm not. I'm
Give it 3 hours.
3 hours. That's a lot of time.
It's after work hours.
Well, just don't post. Like,
Oh, look,
a video of tribal saying, "Let's go, Mary." Like, just don't post. Like, you can.
so you ain't cuss them out though, but I get cussed out when I just say, "Hey, Jack, it's a great episode."
I guarantee a lot of Pacific Coast, like, or even people that couldn't watch when it was coming out. It's really. I mean, the tribal after that was still amazing, so it was all good. But it's like just, you know, that was a little frustrating for me. Obviously everything, and then so yeah, it worked out for Mary. The shot in the dark hit, and then I mean, there's so much to unpack with Cedrek sticking with, but I mean, I don't even know where to start. Like, Say, all I say for Say, love how scrappy she was. She made a great argument putting it on Justin in that way. That was impressive. Justin, I think, should have fought for himself harder. Granted, I heard that that discussion was over an hour or whatever, so maybe he did. But it seemed like he sort of resigned himself to just being like, Cedrek, whatever you do, that's cool. And when the other person is like, go, 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 you gotta like fight back. So
wait a minute. That part of the discussion was that long?
I heard that it was. I don't, but like, I mean,
an hour could really be a half hour, and still that's mad long for that.
Yeah.
But if I'm Justin though, Godfather said has proven 2 votes and 1 vote that like he's locked in with you. So like I'm not even mad at Justin.
Turn a little bit. When
But
Cedric's
I mean,
like, yo, anything to say? Like, you got to say some shit. Like,
but I'm not mad at I'm not mad at Justin in that because I don't want to be too hype. Like I want to be like you got it. I don't want to like. I mean, but
I get you,
Bryce.
Justin didn't necessarily have to fire back with the same intensity that Say was coming with, but you got to give a little bit more than be like, whatever. Like, you can't just be like, I'm cool. Like, basically, if you're saying I'm cool with whatever you decide, you're kind of saying I'm cool if you get rid of me. And if the other person's like, you cannot let me go, what do you think Cedric's going to do? Now, also, I think it was a bad decision by Cedrek. I think once you vote for Say twice, you have to stick to your guns. If you think like in my mind in Survivor, you have to take the information that you have in a vacuum and make the best decision. And you can't really let anybody sway you. Now, if someone introduces new information that changes your mind, that's totally valid. And obviously Justin not having a vote might have changed his mind, but he still voted for Say after he realized that Justin didn't have a vote. So once you decide that Justin's your guy and you want to keep him and you vote Say, then Justin's going to be your ride or die, and Say now going forward is always going to have in the back of her mind that Cedrek was going to let her go, in my mind. So you have to make a decision, stick to your guns.
But new information was entered, and I think that was pivotal information, and that's something that I definitely want to talk about because I love this journey, And I would love to know your opinion because I feel like in this new era,
Like
when you go on the journey,
oh
when,
no.
you didn't like it. I loved it. I thought, oh my God, Jack.
Terrible. It was terrible. It was the worst journey in a long time. It was the okay. Go ahead though. I'll get back, but I'll give your thoughts.
Go ahead, Jack. Bryce, tell us how much you love the journey.
Why? Oh my God, Jack. Why would I be like the one thing me and Jack is going to agree on? I felt like this was like gambling a little bit, like rolling the dice. I loved how simple but complicated it was. I loved how it literally is like in your hands. Like your advantage is in your hands. How you shake the dice, how you like. I kind of just liked it.
But okay, I think, and it's funny. This all comes back to our gambling decision. I think it's the opposite, Bryce. The best journeys are where a challenge or like a conundrum is presented to the players and they can go about it different ways. And we see their decision-making process, which builds on their character. And we see, if they're strategic, then they're going to make this work really well. If they're good at puzzles, but if they're not, then they're going to struggle. This is just like, yo, roll some dice. We'll see what happens. You don't even get to pick, but you might just lose your vote. Like, and now a lot of people were saying Justin was screwed over. I wouldn't go that far to say that. I wouldn't go that far to say that. But like him being forced to go on the journey, being forced to play this, and then losing his vote through basically he had no decision in it.
But
and I think Survivor,
and
luck is an element, but you should have an ability to express some sort of strategic thought or decision in the process.
Okay, so this is where let me push back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you put it in that vacuum, yes, right? Oh, you don't have any control. But what I love, in my opinion, of the new era is that it's not that simple. What has Jeffrey been saying? The new era is so hard. It's so different. What you are not considering is that the journey alone is an advantage, period. It is. Yes. The journey alone is an advantage. How you play it, whether you actually get an advantage, because everyone in the new era knows that when you go on a journey, there is a possibility for something.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like you are just taking the journey and isolating it. The journey, don't isolate the journey. It is the whole decision process. And I think what was Kevin's biggest downfall was the lie that he told. The fact that he chose not Justin. The fact that Belinsky, Justin, also welcome to the Third Boot Club. Justin, we are glad to have you. You are a king and we celebrate you. But Justin made a decision because he perceived that like him not having a vote, it would lessen his power or his agency. However, we clearly see that if Justin would have told Cedrek that he didn't have a vote and things still shook out the way that they shook out, Say's argument against Justin would not be as strong because Cedrek would have known that going in. So I am just saying that like the journey you can't bust it out. Tell me.
No. So the latter portion of your argument, I fully agree with. Justin wasn't screwed because he could have told Cedrek that he didn't have a vote, because he could have clapped back against Say and really fought for himself. That's why he wasn't screwed. But you're talking about how much you love this journey. Then I look at the journey as an isolated event of like, what does the journey entail? It entails Justin has no say in if he gets to go on the journey. Justin has no say if he gets to compete in the challenge. And Justin has no say in the outcome of the challenge because you're just rolling dice. And so to me, that's pure luck, which is part of Survivor. That's pure luck, though. And I like, to me, the best journeys allow for some player expression. The best players are going to succeed and earn an advantage. The bad players are going to slip up and get a disadvantage. Those are two separate incidents. The journey itself, where it's all luck-based, don't like it. How Justin handles it after is all on him, and he didn't do the best job of that. But that doesn't speak to the journey being good or bad. I want a journey where people get to showcase their abilities, and it's not just complete chance.
And also, Bryce, you say how just the mere fact that you're going on a journey is an advantage. And
I mean, it can be a disadvantage, but
it's an opportunity.
Right.
It's an opportunity to, like you get to meet more people and whatnot. Okay. But also you're away from your tribe on a very pivotal day when it would be good to be chopping it up with them. So
before tribal too.
Justin could have came back and said he got to steal a vote. Justin, like he could have said anything. Yeah. He could have been like that. So that's what I'm saying. It's like,
but it's not inherent. It's an opportunity, but it's not always an advantage. And again, I agree. Sorry, I agree that Justin didn't play it all out very well, and that's partly why he went home. You can't say that, oh, Justin got fully screwed. Justin was robbed. Like he wasn't. I think if he goes and tells Cedrek what's up, they're gonna work it out. And if he sits in his chair at tribal and says like, Cedrek, like we've been ride or dies. I want to keep riding it out in this game with you. I didn't tell you about the losing the vote, not because I didn't trust you, but because I was worried that maybe Say would find out and then do something wonky, XYZ. I think Cedrek rocks with it. So that's all on Justin. But I think just the nature of the journey itself, like I said, I don't like that it was all based on luck. I like the players, but
I mean, it's Survivor. It's luck based when you're on tribes with people. Some people are not blessed to be on tribes that fit in with other people. And then it's like, it's Survivor. Like you, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand. I get what you're saying. You would have some control. I do like the journeys where they're like, you know what? I'm going to tribal tonight. I don't want to risk losing my vote. But I also kind of like just being propelled. Like, it's like, what are you going to do? It makes it a little more exciting. It's like, putting all in the house. So I get what you're saying, but
I see what you're saying too. And that's just, and like I said, that's why I don't think Justin was like screwed over, because it's Survivor. You have to expect things like that to happen. And luck is a factor. Like he got really unlucky, but I think he still could have played out of it. But yeah, just to the journey itself, I've said it a million times, but I just wish they had, even if they were forced to play, that it was something that would showcase, oh, you have some skills or you don't. It's not just, can you roll dice?
I'm just saying.
Wendell, what side would you fall on this in this debate? Would you say?
As far as, is this a good journey?
Yeah, is this the type of journey you want to see?
No.
As a viewer, not as a player, as a viewer.
I mean, I like them mixing it up. Yeah, I like seeing different things. I don't like 100% chance. I like seeing things where they have to apply their skills to something, but I do like them mixing things up.
Jack, you're a poker player. You don't blow on the dice before you put them on the table?
Whoa.
No.
You don't like
there's no dice in poker, but yeah, well this is so funny that this comes back after last season. This is exactly why I don't consider myself a gambler, because when it's all luck based, like I said, this is all luck based. I don't like that. Now, if you could like use statistics to hedge your odds a little bit, and the smart people will do that, and the people that aren't like that don't know that wouldn't do it, then I like that.
Use statistically says shaking the dice up for 45 seconds mixes it up.
Yeah, but it's still random. You can mix it up times.
But that's using statistics. If you, first of all, shout out to Kamilla, because Kamilla didn't look at the dice. Kamilla shook it up. Kamilla spoke to the dice. You like, call it what you want. But how it work out for Kamilla?
There's no skill involved in this game. You can shake it any which way.
Oh, listen,
it's not a skill game.
Listen.
So now you're saying Kamilla has no skills. Got it.
That was Justin. What can I say? No. Also, want to call out.
It does matter though, Jack, because listen, when I shake it, okay.
Whoa.
The milkshake brings the boys to the yard, so there is science to how you shake it.
No. I want to call out quickly too. Something we haven't addressed: the irony that Bryce's winner pick, Justin, was the third boot.
But listen, okay.
It takes one to know one.
That is crazy, right? That's crazy. However, I feel like I won the pool, because in my opinion, the third boot is the real winner. So how crazy is that I predicted Justin to win, but I didn't realize that Justin won my heart.
Sure.
Okay, Justin won my pizza crust.
And that's worth
Justin,
0 points in the pool.
Justin has my cow zone. And that I thought that was crazy when I watched the episode. I said, wow, my winner pick is the third boot. Welcome to the illustrious, amazing third boot club, Justin. It is not how you do on Survivor. It is the person that you are. And I think that you are incredibly smart. The way that you can throw a pizza dough up in the air and flatten it down, like, much respect to you, Justin, and welcome to the club. And in my opinion, you have won. Now can we jump around real quick?
Wait, do we feel good? This tribal was so historic. I'm like,
I have a question. Let's talk a little more about tribal, because all day Say was like, yo, I'm worried about Mary having something. Then we get to tribal. As soon as Mary gets up, Say's like, I knew it. And she's talking about all that I knew it stuff, thinking that she has like an idol or something.
But
Like,
I don't think that it was just that, though. And I feel like Say was saying the different variables. And for me, looking back on the episode, I feel like Cedrek kind of like calmed her, because Uncle Seti was at peace with putting Say out to the pasture.
Well, okay, Wendell, do you actually just spark something in me?
Oh.
One of my pet peeves is when something happens in a game or whatever, and people are like, I called it, I knew it. And right?
Say. I'm not co-signing everything this man is about to say. Let me put that out there right now.
Jack.
This goes for anyone.
Jump. Y'all need to jump Jack.
Okay, saying
after school
she called it.
I'm not condoning violence.
And look, it seemed like maybe she was playing an idol, valid. But then she plays the shot in the dark and it hits, and Say's like, I knew it. Like, how do you know he can't know that? And she's saying it partly to Justin, and it's like, what are you telling Justin he should have done? Like, okay, you knew it, so you should have put your vote on Justin? Like, what?
Wait.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, because I don't like. Okay,
but
that was
to be like, yo, I knew her shot in the dark was gonna hit. It's like, no, you literally could not have known that. Like,
but she was saying, consider it. Like, I feel like we're not gonna minimize. Yeah, it might have been we've been seeing the idol, or like she could have been talking about the idol, but I also felt like she was talking about the variables of Mary doing something that would hit. But
in her defense, all of her considerations about what happens if Justin doesn't have a vote, what happens if Mary has something, I actually loved where her head was at. And I don't think splitting the vote was a terrible idea. But when it comes down to, okay, Mary shot in the dark hits, and you're like, yo, I told you guys. Okay, so what? You told Justin that you should have voted for him, and you told Cedrek that, like, Say could have voted for Justin. So tell everybody everything all you want. It actually boils down to her decision if she wants to split her vote or not. So if you actually knew it, then you should have split your vote. Right?
No, I hear what you're saying.
That was the only thing I was saying. Watching her say I knew it, I was like, come on, sis. Like, oh, you knew that Mary was lounging out there, not just so that she was getting ready to play a shot in the dark and it was going to hit?
Yeah, we see that you didn't know it. So
that's not what she was saying. But can we talk about the real dilemma at tribal? Okay.
What was it?
The real issue for me was the first round of votes, when just after 2 votes, they said it couldn't be done because Justin didn't have a vote, and Cedrek and Say are like, and then we got to vote again. And mind you, Justin is sitting there like, then we have to vote again. And there's only 2 votes. Yeah. And Justin is still sitting there like,
this
and
is weird.
Jeff has to come right. Like,
I think my pizza's ready.
why aren't they playing my votes? And then Jeff is like, hey, because this is a weird situation, I don't mean to out you, Justin.
You sitting over there really quiet right now, so I'm gonna have to say something. But they looking at me like I can't count.
But Justin, your ass ain't got a vote. And Cedrek and Say are like, What did y'all think was happening the 2
Yeah,
rounds before?
yeah.
And it was you have to, if you rewatch this episode, you have to look at the clips that they get of Justin. Like, now, mind you, I respect Justin for just sitting in that awkwardness of like,
Thugging
so
it
Justin,
out.
Justin pretending like that was my vote. that was my vote. Like it. The real MVP was Justin for sitting in that awkwardness, and the fact that Jeff had to be like, "Hey, they're questioning the integrity," and you know you can't question the integrity with Jeff. He's like, "Hey."
Justin looked more surprised than anyone.
Right. Jeff was like, Justin, you want to say it or you want me to say it, buddy? Which one?
Yeah, that was wild. Something that brings us towards, giving Cedrek. So I talked to Zach Wurtenberger about this tribal, and Zach is a real rules. He knows the rules better than anybody for Survivor, and he was saying that there was a violation of the rules in a way, and I disagree. But I want to lay out sort of what happened and get your guys' opinion on it. Basically, when the vote reties, them giving the power to Cedrek, he was disagreeing with that. He was basically saying that, typically in a rock draw, it's not up to the people that are going to rocks that have to come to a unanimous decision. In this case, only Cedrek, but it's actually the people that have their votes. And usually the people that are safe from rocks don't have a vote because they've, voted for each other and it cancels out. They lose their vote. But in this instance, Say still has her vote. So the argument would actually be that Say and Cedrek have to come to a unanimous decision, in which case, or Say and Justin would become safe, Cedrek would go home. And so then the power would be with Say to be like, I'm voting for Justin, obviously. So Cedrek, you can either vote for Justin with me or you can go home. But to me, I think they handled it the right way, because either way, you're either putting all of the power in Say's hand or you're putting all of the power in Cedrek's hand. And obviously, Cedrek being the one who was not voted for, I think should be making that decision and not Say. But what do you guys think about that?
Well, I don't know why you're asking Wendell, because for the first time ever on Survivor News, this similar scenario at this vote, I know a little something about, because I was the third boot and on a tie vote. So I think I agree with Zach normally, but I think where the caveat comes in is that the 2 votes are Cy and Justin. And so when you are the name that is put up, like, you don't get a vote. It's normally everyone else who has a vote that is not you, because essentially you're not going to vote for yourself. So I feel like I'm with you, Jack, where they handled it correctly. I feel like in theory, what Zach is saying is right. Like, whoever has a vote, but because her name, right, Say, because her name,
say her name.
If no one is around you,
that's how you can remember it.
I know. But because like her name is up, like my name and Alexis were up, like you don't get an option. So I hear what you're saying.
Obviously, it's funky because of Justin not having a vote is why Say keeps her vote. But like I said, it boils down to either, in that instance, do you give Say all the power to either send Justin or Cedrek home, or do you give Cedrek the power? And I think the reasonable answer is to give Cedrek the power because nobody voted for him. But Wendell, do you have a opinion on this? This rules discrepancy?
I'm not a big I don't know a lot of the rules, but I will say I think the best decision is to put it in Cedrik's hands in this one.
Okay.
And if you didn't believe that of my take of Cedrek being the Godfather last episode,
finish your sentence.
Marry and Say, I'm going to make this decision, but I'm going to make it real quick. If I'm going to pick you, Say, the family has to come together. The family can't be at a disagreement. We're going to come together. We're going to squash this right now. And Say was like, it's done. It's done. Like, was that not a Godfather moment of Cedrek being like, I'm choosing you, Justin. I'm putting the family together.
It was.
Because because I'm putting the family together.
But I think that's partly why I think it's a bad move by Cedrek, a little bit. Now, I respect him trying to bring people together. But in that moment, obviously Say is going to tell you that she's down to
see, that's where I feel like Survivor sometimes transcends. And I feel like after we just had this moment of these ladies saying, hey, I respect her, but I'm going against her. We see how emotional Say is getting. Like, I'm shocked by this, Cedrek. I can't believe I've told you everything. I've laid you can say whatever you want about me. You can say I talk a lot. You can say I make crazy faces. But what you can't say is that you haven't known every move that I have made. And I feel like her getting emotional and him putting that on the line, I feel like I don't know a lot. And I don't know past this episode from my own experience, but I feel like as a good judge of character, I feel like this is something that would cement you together in this moment. So I hear what you, but I'm just saying, I feel like that through all that emotion and you seeing Mary consoling Cedrek, like, I know this is a hard decision. You see Mary touching Say, like, I know this is hard right now. So again, Survivor is a game of luck. It's a game of strategic. It's a game of numbers, but it's also a game of like people. And I feel like in that moment, that was a very human moment. And I would bet after that, they work together to the end.
Oh, I disagree. I think, I hear you. I think Say, of anybody in this tribe, played the best this episode. And the way that she fought at the tribal council she deserves all the kudos for saving herself. But like I said, if I'm Cedrek, of course Say is being smart here. Of course you're going to say, like, I'll die for Mary. Like, I to keep me in and I'll do anything. Like, that's not her being like, the beef is done. That's Say being like, yo, my back's against the wall and I need to save myself and say whatever it takes to do, which as she should. But obviously, if I was like,
I believed it.
Yeah, if I was like, Bryce, if you want to stay in, you got to make up with Wendell. You guys got to stop fighting over these events. And and for $1 million, you'd be like, Wendell, I love you. Of course, you're my brother. Like, but after that,
I mean it.
I know, but like, it would be interesting. What if Mary, being safe at this tribal, was like, I don't think I could rock with Say. Like, do you think Cedrek would be like, all right, Mary said she doesn't like you. You're out.
But Mary could have done that, though. Like, Mary absolutely could have done that. And that
Cedrek would have then gotten rid of Say?
I don't know. But that's why I believe this bond. Because if the venom that Mary had for Say was so ripe, she could have. So, I don't know. It
would have been ballsy. It would have been ballsy when you're on an island already, and then someone's extending to be like, yeah, get rid of that would be a crazy call for Mary to try to make, but it would have been funny. But Wendell, what do you think about that? I don't know, about how Cedrek handled it, about Say's response.
I think when Say laid it on him, she convinced him. I think when he's like, oh, yeah, Justin did keep information from me. He lied to us. This is my guy. I'm willing to change my opinion right now.
But isn't that the right thing to do? Like, would you not do that in that situation?
I don't know what I would do in that situation. I don't know what I would do. But I do think that when you get new information, you should be allowed to change your opinion on things.
Yeah.
Now,
but I'm not hard set against Cedrek changing his mind. To me, the new information component, super valid, right? You get new information, you can change your mind. I actually think that's a good thing. If you don't change your mind when new information comes around, you're being sort of obtuse. But here, I felt like that new information came during, that first revote. Maybe Cedrek didn't realize, but Cedrek knew and still sort of rocked with, even after Jeff was like, Justin, I got to say, you don't have a vote. Cedrek, like, it's up to you. And at first he was like, so he had that information to me and then made his decision. But then Say comes in and is like, making this very compelling argument that, oh, your number one ally didn't tell you. That's not new information, but that's convincing Cedrek and
He's
doing a great
doubling
job.
down.
But
She's
for
doubling
me,
down, and she's also saying, "Hey, look, I've been rocking with you. I've been solid with you. He hasn't." She's just doubling down on it.
Oh, but it's great from Say.
With emotion.
It's
but
great
for
from
me,
Say, but that's not new info. That's Say convincing him. And
Yeah,
if
it's
you
doubling
have all the
down.
information and you make your decision, but then you can be swayed, then I think that's where it's a gray area. Because I think after you write Say's name down, then I think him keeping Say in general, totally valid. But I think writing her name down twice and then switching back is a little shakier, right?
I agree, but that's where I feel like Cedrek did not know Justin didn't have a vote, because in what world would he write her name down knowing that, like, that for me is my sticking point, where it's like why the new information is so
important, because it's like, yo, you held off on this information knowing that some funny stuff is going to happen.
Agree. But agree. But speaking in the order of events, the revote happens again. It's a tie. Jeff says, Justin, given the circumstances, I got to tell everybody you don't have a vote. So now Cedrek, the power is in your hands. And at first, Cedric's like, Justin's my guy. I've been rocking him since day one. So I'm sorry, Say. Like, I'm going to have to. He had decided to still get rid of Say, having that new information. But then Say comes in and says, but I shared everything with you. And then Say convinces him. But that's not new information at that point, because Cedrek, when he first picked Say to get rid of, knew that information.
Yeah, we don't have to say it's new information. We just have to say laid it on him and was
100%.
yo, I've been rocking with you. He hasn't. She threw him under the bus a little more, and she elevated her stock a little more.
And that's what I'm saying, because I think it's a great job from Say. But for Cedrek, because there's no new information there, do you think it's good that he got convinced, or should he have stuck to his guns?
My question is, and whenever this season is over, I would love to know his reasoning behind it, because if I want to know when he figured out that Justin didn't have a vote, because this what matters to me. If he didn't know and he still was just trying to get Say out, or if he was being the godfather and being like the dad that he says he is to Say, and driving the point home to be I know that you're going to have to vote for Justin and we can get him out. But if I don't vote for Justin and vote your name down, then we get to this stalemate. Then I can actually come to this conclusion where it's like, hey, I told you not to play with fire. Like almost like teaching her a lesson. Like, listen, your behind was almost gone. Now, this is my plan moving forward. I want you and Mary get it together. I don't
think he had that pre-planned, right? Because he seemed ready to let Say go, and then Say did an excellent job of convincing him to keep her, which I think Say in that moment did everything 100% right. I'm just questioning, should Cedrek have, because it wasn't like he planned out, I'm going to give Say a little
I don't know. That second vote, I feel like that could have been.
No, he wasn't planning to teach her a lesson with these votes.
Yeah.
It was more so he felt something when she was pleading to him. That could have been when he felt this father-daughter thing. He felt something when this young woman is pleading to her case to him and saying, yo, I've been there with you. That's how I felt it. And I was like, damn, all right, he's holding her down right now, and I understand it.
Well, listen, and I love Cedrek, and I think that this is a great move, but I had to be honest. Godfather Seti, I'm looking at you. Look, you got the side eye now. You do, because I'm giving Seti the side eye, but in the most diabolical way. That is good, because I feel like his decision at that point to keep Justin and get rid of Say was like, listen, hey, I love Say, but it's bumpy. Justin, my guy, and we're rocking out, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not mad at how Seti was thinking. And again, it's like, Seti playing. And for him to backtrack and then make this moment, I'm just saying, Uncle Seti is playing, whether people see it or not. I said it last episode, and I said it when I got off the plane today to Wendell. I said, how crazy would it be if Seti joins the ranks of Vesepia, Jeremy Collins, and for Seti to potentially be and Earl Cole, for Seti to be potentially the 4th black winner. Then Marianne.
What about what?
Yo, the Wenden's not gonna be happy.
You know what? The Wenden's about to eat you up, Bryce.
All 2 of them are gonna pull up on you.
Whoa. So, but yeah, regardless, the way Seti pivot, the way that Seti was ready to chop and move forward, I'm not mad at it. But can we talk about something else that I've been dying to talk about?
Yeah.
The bonfire.
Star didn't even get an invite.
Okay.
Okay.
Question number 1. Where was Star? First of all, everybody said, where was Star? Y'all know where Star was at, trying to figure out the combination. Okay.
Like, actually, though, that's probably what she was doing.
Right.
You know, they're all on the beach. I gotta go crack the code.
Star was like, give me extra 15 minutes.
I'm gonna go look for some wood.
Star's like, the light is helping me hold the parchment up. Okay, we need to talk about Eva, but before we talk about Eva, I want to talk about Joe. I love Joe. I think Joe is like amazing, but I feel like after seeing the players that we have on this tribe, right? Like, we see how diabolical Thomas is. We see Thomas actually thinking, hey, I want to work with Star. We see Star bringing information to Bianca and Thomas. We see my Persian husband wanting to work with Star, right? Like, I am nervous for Joe. I love the fact that he was like, I want to build this bonfire to bring everyone together and show them like love. But I love Joe, but I feel like that's too much eyes. That's too much like leadership. That's too much like love, because I feel like, but I love Joe and I would appreciate it. But me as like the viewer, it makes me nervous because I'm like, Joe,
it's too visible.
It's too visible. It's too, and I feel like this is who Joe is. It's too nice. It's too like, it just made me nervous. What did y'all think about that? And is that a hot take?
Well, I'll say this, Bryce. There was a point on Ghost Island when I was building so much and doing so much, and I had that feeling. The feeling that you're saying about Joe, how you feel about Joe, is how I felt about my game. I was like, look, I know I'm doing the most right now, and it's going to get me sniped. And fortunately, back then, I squeaked through and I had protection. But yeah, this Joe, if they don't pick him off, it's going to be his right-hand lady.
What did you think about the bonfire before we go to Eva? Jack.
Oh, I mean, I thought it was a fun scene, but yeah, I thought it was less about the bonfire. I wish Star was there, but I feel like Star's starting to emerge.
Star didn't want to be there.
Star's starting to,
I'll be up here.
The stars come out later at night. You know what I mean? So as the sun is going down, stars starting to brighten. But yeah, I mean, I love Thomas. I love Shaheen. I like Bianca a lot. And so I just think it's so funny, Eva doing something so genuine and wholesome. Like, because I'm very cynical as well. And so I love that Thomas's first reaction was like, you're going to give him a bracelet for his daughter? You got to go. Like,
did you see Shaheen and Thomas, the eye look in the actual moment, though?
I don't know if I did, but I know they obviously talked about it. And I feel like that his thinking is so similar to kind of what I would be thinking. And it's so fun because he's so honest. And it's like, it is villainous, but it's that great kind where it's like, it's not personal. It's just all cutthroat, like, and it's so funny too, where you can't be mad at it. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some Thomas haters, but I'm Team Thomas. So
he's one of those great narrators.
And it is interesting with Eva, right? Where like us as viewers, we know a lot of behind the scenes, we know a lot of her background, but I also feel like this is one of the things where it's like she isn't sharing. And it's her right to disclose, right? But it's like the reason that we as viewers and that she has shared with us is that like she doesn't want people to like hold that against her or like feel like it can be used against her. But also like in situations like this where if people had more knowledge, I think that they will look at it a little differently. And so it's like that's where like the dilemma of Eva's game comes in, that where it's like, oh my God, this is like the nicest thing ever. Like I'm on the plane crying, like, you know, thinking about, but I'm also thinking like, Eva, girl, just put it in his pocket, hand it to him, like, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like,
privately.
but as Eva, like, and we like, she just wants to make this gesture. It was so interesting. And also, I think like even with Eva going to Star, I thought that that was like such an interesting scene where Eva is like, she has told us it's hard for her to tell like social cues and when people are lying, right? But also it's like it's such an interesting and complex conversation because on Survivor, right? Like there is lying and then there is like
deception,
and then there is like I'm lying because I'm lying, not because I'm lying. And so like Eva, again, and mind you, first of all, I love Eva. Eva's like my little sister in my head, and I love the way that Eva, like how she narrates it, where it's like, okay, I know because you ain't tell me, Jack, but Wendell told me that you got the idol. So now I'ma be the lie detector, and I'ma go to you and say, hey, mind you, me and Jack, we ain't talk all season, and now I'm gonna come up to you and say, hey, Jack, let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
You be going for a lot of the day. I don't know where you be at. Have you found the idol?
well, it's Survivor, so you know I'm gonna look for the idol, like, but I haven't found anything.
And so, like, then Eva's like, ha, you're lying. I can't trust you. But also, it's like, Eva, girl, you didn't trust her going in, right? Like,
Exactly.
And so it's like this. But this is why I love Survivor, and this is why I love the season, because it's like it opens up these conversations where it's like, yes, Eva, we understand that sometimes your social cues aren't on, but also like in this, bitch, I don't know if my social cues are on, because it's like, what are you supposed to do in this situation?
Yeah. No, you articulated that really well, Bryce, because Eva, I like her mindset of being like, okay, I'm not good at telling when people are lying to me. Let me take a fact that I know and see if they'll say it or not, because then I know for a fact if they're lying or not. But and she goes in and does that with Star, who she hasn't been talking to, and when Star is lying, she's like, gotcha, like Star doesn't like me, like I figured it out. She's really should just be going to like try to build some trust with Star.
Right.
It doesn't have to be like, oh, I caught you. It could just be like, let me go throw out an olive branch first, you know? So you maybe you learn that someone doesn't trust you, but you could be learning that a lot of people don't trust you and be feeling good, and all of a sudden they just vote you out. So I think you explained that situation really well, Bryce, because it looked good. Like she went about it the right way in terms of learning that she's lying, but maybe she shouldn't be trying to learn that people are lying to her. Maybe she should just be trying to build some connections with people.
But also, it's like, it's great because, again, like what Eva has shared with us, like we see a portion of how like she thinks, right? But also, I feel like in this moment, we should be giving Star credit, because I feel like the way Star answered it was like, the door isn't closed.
Like,
right.
Yeah, if you never talked to me, what am I supposed to tell you? That I just found? Like, that's not a bad lie. Like,
right.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, again, we know what we know about Eva's game, right? Like, I feel like it's almost like Eva, she now has, like, the lines are drawn in the sand, right? And so it's like, okay, I'm not working with you. And so I love that, because it's like kind of not beneficial, but it's like we both know what's up. And so it's just like this nuance that I think is just so interesting. But also, again, like I said before, like watching it, I'm like, well, damn, what is the right answer? Because I feel like if Star would have said, I do have it, I wonder what it would have looked like for Eva and that point. Like, can we work together? Or would it have been like, but you didn't tell me and I already knew. So it just is like
either way.
this really,
So either way, it would be bad, huh?
Yeah, Star should
Right.
never tell, right? Like, because a Star obviously doesn't know that all this word got out. And so if in your mind you haven't told that many people, and the person that you want to work with the least just pulls up on you is like, yo, have you found anything? You should never tell them that you found something, right? So,
but okay, now this is where my mind works, right? Because I also feel like Eva is a hockey player. And like, I also feel like in a very diabolical way, I feel like Eva had this conversation with Star to let her know, like,
I'm clocking you.
I know what's up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like it's almost like when you're like, think about hockey. Like, hockey is a very physical sport. You check in, like, and what do they call it when you like throw them up against the ice? Like, what is that? Like I don't know what that's called.
yeah,
Check. Like,
yeah.
I feel like Eva checked
checking
Star
her.
a little bit here. Like, like Eva got the puck. Like, what you gonna do with it? And Star was like, I don't know. And Eva said, boom. I know where you at. Like, I don't know. I just feel like
the thing is, I don't know if Star is the one you want to check. Like that,
right.
And we see after some momentum starts to build with Bianca, Thomas, and Star, and ultimately Bianca loses her vote, so that can be really difficult. But Thomas has a steal a vote, so if Thomas wants to go with that trio, they hold all the power. And so I feel like Eva's getting a little bit excited about the fact that she's sort of clocked and checked Star, but what she's actually done is sort of made it Eva or Star thing, and that's not where you really want to be.
Right. And my last diabolical Thomas that I just love and love and love, like not the Bianca and Thomas thing where Bianca is like, I actually was kind of scared to tell you that I lost my vote, but I had to tell you. And then like Thomas's confessional was like the best, where it's like, thank you for telling me, but I ain't telling y'all nothing. Like, it's like Thomas, I know Jeff said we're not casting villains, and Thomas isn't a villain, but like, I love the venom that Thomas is spewing, and it's amazing. And it's like the best thing ever. The way that it builds the anticipation that I am looking to see how all of this is going to play out is crazy.
And Bryce, in a season and in an era where so many people share so much, you have this one guy receiving information and being like, nope, I'm keeping my information locked up. Thomas is going a long way in this game.
I hope.
Absolutely.
I hope. All of this actually sort of, I'm always of the mindset that if you get something, you don't share it until you have to. But I actually like nowadays, like kind of what Kamilla did.
Right.
I think after a journey, right? Because say you get to the merge after lying about what happened on your journey. Well, someone over on green told everybody a story, and someone over on orange told everybody a story, and your story is just not. There's no way to no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Your story is not going to line up. And so then not only are people going to be suspicious of you, they're also going to be knowing that you lied. And so I feel like after a journey to just be like, maybe you don't say a steal a vote, but maybe you say I got an extra vote. And you say, hey, this is something that if we get to the merge as a group can use. That's helpful in a way, but also helpful in the sense that if I know someone in my tribe has a steal a vote, I know it's going to be really hard to go against them. And so I think in a way that sort of brings everyone into you, because all Thomas needs is 2 people, and he's good. So if you aren't in that 2, you're in trouble. And so you might as well try to get in that 2. And I think it actually opens up more opportunities in a way. Same with like a block a vote. Like now, if I lose my vote, I don't necessarily know if I would tell people I lost my vote. Because then that could help. It's sort of the opposite reason. Oh, you don't have a vote. It's easier to go after you. I think an idol you keep to yourself until you have to say anything. But after a journey, it's like, I don't know. Do you guys think it's good to be straight up?
I think you should follow the precedent. Like, I think Kamilla, what she did was right. But I also think in this new era, when there is a journey every day, I think it gives you a little more leeway to lie, because I feel like what is fresh on people's memory. Like, I don't think that, like, say there are 3 more journeys. I don't think when we merge, people are going to be questioning the details of Bianca's journey. But I also feel like there's going to be so many other journeys and so many other things that happen that, like, maybe they will, but I feel like there will be other things that you can draw on. So I feel like it gives me a little more leeway to, like, maybe I can lie. And here's another thing. I wasn't mad at Thomas's lie. I thought Thomas's lie about the journey was kind of solid a little bit.
But I agree. But do you worry that he gets to the merge? See, I think you get to a merge. I'm sitting down with some people and be like, what did so-and-so say about their first journey? What was the second journey? What was the third journey? And then you're going to know what doesn't add up. And that's a conversation, especially if you're bored out there. That's maybe a 45-minute conversation that you can have.
But that's what I will say. Let's get there, though. Like, you know, like, right.
True,
so it's
true.
like.
But that's what I'm a little bit worried about. Thomas, my winner pick. I'm a little worried he's going to get to the merge and people are going to start comparing notes. Oh, Thomas lied about this. Oh, maybe Thomas lied about this or this. And then all of a sudden everyone's like, yo, Thomas is a snake. And I love it, but it's like he could be on some people's radar.
Then he's going to use that Sillivo. Okay, then you're going to really learn what the snake looked like.
Whoa.
I mean, Wendell, what do you think about, like, you go on a journey, say your tribe's still a tribe of 6 or 5, whatever. You go on a journey and say you get an extra vote. Do you go back and just tell people that, or do you come up with a story?
I would like to hope that I can come up with a story. I would like to come up with a story.
And then what about, I mean, obviously you get to the merge and you have this problem. It's a good problem to have. You're at the merge. But what about if people are like,
you're at the merge with your numbers. You're at the merge. You're on a tribe that's winning a lot. You're at the merge with numbers and a steal a vote. Yeah, y'all are comparing and contrasting, but your tribe is sticking together.
But I also feel like in these new journeys, right? Like, the lie doesn't have to be that elaborate, right? Like, I feel like the lie could have just been like, for this actual situation,
I got 3
maybe
skulls.
I did get a steal a vote. I could just say I lost my vote, or I didn't win anything, right? Because that's still kind of like on the, I feel like, tell a lie, but don't tell a lie.
Well, the lie is going to work with your tribe, I think, if you do it right. Like, Thomas's lie was good. Like, oh, so was Bianca's. Like, oh, it was an old challenge, really hard. So immediately I recognized it was difficult. I said, no way. Sure. But I worry about, you know, there's people sitting out. If you're on the sit out bench, do I turn to you and be like, so what did he say about his journey? And then, oh, that's not what my person said. Like, somebody's lying.
Say we all went on that journey, right? And say we all and say I say, when I got there, it said, you can go a step further and you can risk all rolling the dice. And if you get 2, you know what I'm saying? Like, say I add a little bit, like, would y'all believe that? Like, if I were like, when I got there, it said, if you get 2 fires, you can roll.
I think whatever anyone tells me coming back to camp, I'm just going to sort of be like, okay. And just kind of be like, they could have, like, anything could be true. Like, I'm not going to just 100% buy anything anyone tells me. And I'm not going to be mad at them if they lie. Like, it is what it is. And some people might, but, like, to me, okay, you go on your journey, you got an extra vote, and you don't want to tell everybody at camp. Obviously, like, that doesn't mean you're a deceitful player. Like, that's just is
right. And also, y'all make it later in the game. It's like, yo, you know, I couldn't share that with y'all at that point. Like, all right, I got it. All right, cool. Let's keep it moving.
But could come to a Cedrek and a say moment with a Thomas where, like, leaving that little bit of information out could be detrimental at one point in time, depending on how it's, like, weaponized.
Now, do we think with Thomas and Bianca's conversation, was this the time for Thomas to come clean to Bianca? Should you be telling your number 1 about a steal a vote?
Nope. No.
Your number 1 could, like, that person might not be your person at another point.
I agree about that with, like, an idol, but I think that if I get to the merge and I'm Bianca and I hear that and I figure out that Thomas was lying, then that raises a lot of red flags in a way. I don't know.
But I feel like this is what I respect about Thomas's game. Like, yes, Bianca is his number 1, but everybody's expendable.
Oh, I respect it too. I love Thomas's mentality to not share anything is really refreshing, and how I think people should generally be playing.
Thomas is a man, right?
Yeah. And if a woman were to do this too,
Yeah.
I would love it as well. I mean, you guys are quick to forget that 47, how highly it spoke of Genevieve, of Rachel. I just want to put that out there.
Towards the end, though.
Not early on. I was saying Rachel was, and I said Rachel and Genevieve were both contenders early on.
You were big on Andy. You was big on.
I wasn't big on it. I gave Andy a lot of flack. I was big on Sam.
Gabe in the basement. You was big on.
I was giving Gabe crap. So anyone can get some crap. I was look. It's, and I said early. I said in our preseason coverage that last season early on, I said last season early on, I said I think a woman is gonna. This is a woman's season to win. Rachel ended up winning. I said I think the women look a lot stronger than the men in this cast. That was correct. This season, our preseason coverage, our draft, I said, I think it's going to swing a man's direction this season. And that's not, I just think that there's a lot of, strong male players this season. Last season, I thought there's more strong female players. So, you can try to paint whatever light you want on me.
Who was your winner pick at the start of the last season now?
I don't know. I don't think I made a winner pick.
You did.
Sam.
It wasn't Sam. I didn't pick Sam. No, I definitely picked a woman. No, I said when we did a draft, I said I think a woman's going to win the season. I think it might have been.
You think a woman's going to win, but you picked the winner pick that you picked their name started with an M and ended with an E.
Who?
Male.
Oh no! I think I picked Genevieve. I think I picked Genevieve last season. No. Genuinely. Why would I say I think a woman's going to win and then not pick a woman? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm just.
This season, my pick was Thomas.
Listen, I'm not mad.
And look, also, with Survivor, fortunately, is so diverse these days. A lot of times, the people I'm rooting against are going to be like something, I'm rooting for, what do you, man, like. I don't know. I'm not and the people I'm rooting for the most this season are like Kyle and Thomas. So what do you want me to say?
I would like to say.
Oh, go ahead. Tell them.
No, go ahead. No, you talk.
Just wanted to change gears real quick and briefly say that the challenge, the blindfolded challenge, where you ran through this obstacle course and ended with a puzzle, we did something extremely similar on Ghost Island.
I thought that challenge was amazing.
That's a fun one. You need a good communicator, right?
Okay. And when David was grabbing them bags, I was the bag. Okay. Untie me, David. Okay.
Are you trying to be a stay-at-home mother of four, Bryce?
No, I'm not. I'm trying to be and I mean this with love and respect. I'm trying to be a trailer queen. Okay. I'm going to meet you where you at, King. I'm going to grow grass. Okay. I'm going to mow your daddy grass. Okay. I'm going to meet you where you're at.
I feel like every time these blindfold challenges happen, everyone but they love to keep doing them. But do you guys like the blindfold challenges?
Now, can we talk about Joe? Because what the hell was that? Because if that's not cheating, Joe is an ex-man.
That was smart.
Joe said, wait,
he knew where he had to go.
Joe said, wait, I can't even. Joe said, am I here? I'm here. I was like, what is going on?
Well, I think he just remembered where he had to go at the start and just visualized it and just sent it.
And again, my love for Joe goes up, but if I'm watching that from my own team or from somebody else's team, I'm like,
you got X-ray vision.
That man has a problem. He got low to the ground. He kept his arms out. He said, 10 foot left. Move 4 straight. To the right. Down low. What I also was cracking up was that when people went back, did you I don't know if I grabbed a shot of it. When people went back, when they went under this thing, I was cracking up how Some people went back under it. Like you could just walk around it.
I don't even
You
know.
probably have to go through it.
I've seen people walk around it.
Is
Also,
it in front of Jeff though on the side? Is that not a block, like a blockade in front of Jeff?
Kind of looks
in
like.
between. Yeah. Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah. You got rid of the image.
I don't know. But listen, I just want to say that it is an honor and it's a privilege to welcome my man, Belinsky, to the Third Boot Club. I think that he is a great player. I think that, sometimes luck isn't always on our side, but I feel like these last 3 episodes, I've been saying nothing about how I like the way that he's been moving. I like the way that he's been flexible. I like the way that he's been going with the flow. And sometimes the cards aren't on our favor. But if I were to roll the dice, I would roll the dice for him. And I think that he's a great addition to the illustrious Third Boot Club. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, we thought we could see him going far.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he was none of our picks for the third boot either. So we're all still even on that.
Justin was my winner pick, and I think that he played a great game, and I hope that he keeps his head up high, and I hope that he knows that he's a legend in his own right.
You should get minus points for your winner pick being the third boot.
No, you should get bonus points because the third boots are actually the winners of the season. But it's always great to be here with the baby boys, and it's just us. I feel like we are in the win den. But next week, we will be in Nashville for the BWP 48. Tickets are available. We are slated to have an all-star cast. We've got Owen, we've got Q, we've got Sam, we've got some of our trader family, we've got some of the circle coming. It is going to be amazing. We got our girl Figgy, and after Nashville, we will be in Chicago April 2nd. We will be in Austin April 23rd. Tickets are available at bryceandwin.com. Get up on the rodeo with us and enjoy this amazing season. Super excited to be here with the baby boys, Wendeezy and Jack. Thank you for joining us. Any last words before we settle on up?
Whoa. Shout out to Mary. Genuinely, though. Genuinely.
You still got to meet her after school. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Survivor News Season 48, Episode 3. We'll be back next week covering Episode 4. We'll see you soon.
Peace.
Hey, see you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind. You better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack. You better hurry right back, though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.